Hi everyone, this is Leslie of Succulent Social. Today I have two pots of Echeveria Topsy Turvy that have already outgrew their pots and have grown a lot of babies, and I will show you how we can separate them and have more plants. I have here two pots of Echeveria Topsy Turvy that have a lot of babies. In fact, their babies are already so huge and big, they're not babies anymore. And because of that, some of the babies inside, they don't get the sun that they need, as well as, of course, they're competing for nutrients and energy from this little pot. So today I want to show you how I remove all of this so that we can have a lot of plants. They have been neglected. As you can see, a lot of the smaller babies have already grown bigger and a lot of dry leaves are already here. So first, I will have a look and see where we can cut. Let me first make this cut. There we go. These ones, I would clear all those dried leaves. If I plant them in the soil right away, this fresh cut will absorb all the water that it can get from the soil. You can plant it straight away if your soil is really dry. But if you cannot guarantee that and there's still moist in your soil, best to let this callus first. If this absorb most of the moisture in the soil, it will just rot, and we don't want that. Okay, so that's plant number one. They have, I will try to remove some of the leaves. Now, we have to be very gentle when we're removing the leaves. You have to really make sure it's gonna be a clean cut. Come on, there we go. Did you hear that snap? So that's from here. It should be a clean cut. We will try to propagate some of these leaves. So just put it there. So I have this mother head. I have a lot of leaves for propagation. Here I have a few bigger ones and a few really smaller ones. I want to remove the bigger ones so that I can get them ready in the smaller pots and they grow there, but the smaller ones I let them just stay there. Now the big one that I cut earlier is from here. What I will do later is I'll put cinnamon powder in there. It acts as a anti-fungal. Alrighty. Now that I have them open, it's just so easy. You can just snap it off. See? Just snap. There we go. Anyone else? There. Okay, I think these ones are still a little small. They can grow from there. But then I have all of this that I can work on. Alright, so I think I'm done with the first pot. I'll leave some of this here. Now let's move to the second one. There we go. So this is one from the second pot. They're really nice, isn't it? Some of those babies that are very near to the soil or touching the soil have already produced their own roots, as you can see here. So that's really good. I won't remove the roots. I'll just let this cut part dry but we'll plant it as is. Just remove all the dry leaves in here. Now I'm caring for Topsy Turvy. I'd say they're very hardy Echeverias. We usually just the usual water them when the soil is dry, but actually I don't think I even follow that, just because these are out in the open and we have a lot of sun and also a lot of rain during this period. So as you can see, the soil is still very wet because we had 3 days of non-stop raining here in Melbourne. Yeah, so just like this. Again, we just need about 1 to 2 inches maybe to show, or maybe about 3 to 5 centimeters, just so when we plant them it will anchor into the soil. I think these are 2 heads. See, there's one here and one there on one stem. Ta-da! Another trick that you can do is when you're repotting them, or if you're replanting, say you buy some a succulent from a nursery and you brought it home and you wanted to repot them, just before you repot them, take one of the leaves so that you can propagate it, right? Because it's just one, you know, it doesn't really affect the complete look, but then you put it aside, you have a good chance that you will propagate some more from this, right? So as I mentioned earlier, I do always put some cinnamon powder. Okay, now let's go to the other one. We have one open wound in there. Oh, another one here. So I just want to show you what we have after removing all the babies. So of course we still have the 2 pots with lots of babies sitting there, one here, but a lot of more potential from the stem. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 medium size, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 smaller ones, and a lot of leaves for propagation. So what we're gonna do now is just to let these ones callus. We might leave it for about 3 to 4 days, because they have some of them really have big stems, therefore big space to dry out. 4 days have passed, and now today I have potted the succulents into their individual pots. During those 4 days, I have allowed them to callus, the cut in the stem. I have allowed it to dry completely before I pot them, and then I dip them in cinnamon powder, which is anti-fungal, and then I put them in their pots. Just a few things that I consider is, as you could notice, they have different sizes depending on the size of the succulent. And it's important to choose the perfect size, especially for Echeverias like this. They don't have really long roots, and we don't want to put it in a pot which is this long, because it means there will be a lot of moist soil around it when you water them, and it would take really long time for it to dry out. If you can, try to use a pot with drainage hole, so something similar to this. So in that way, when you water it, of course not now, but when it has rooted already and you will need to water it, the water will just seep through the hole. And this is a terracotta pot, which is perfect for succulents because it's a very porous pot. terracotta pot or concrete pots are porous in such a way that they don't only let the water to come out here or evaporate from the surface of the soil, it also evaporates through the entire surface of the pot. And that is very good because although succulents like water and they like storing their water, they don't want to be drenched in moist soil for too long. So once you water them, they will drink up all the water that they need, store it in their leaves, and then they want a dry environment until maybe a week or two when they need another drink. So and a few other tips, of course, is to use fast draining soil. We don't want sticky and damp soil. We want something wherein if you water them, it just goes throughout and out of the pot. That's what we want. I would also encourage you to, when you pot, as you choose the right pot for your succulent, leave about 1 to 2 centimeters of space here because that allows for growth. And also, if you notice, from the rim, I also allow about, maybe this is about 1.5 centimeters before the pebbles or before the soil, so that when I water them, the water will not just splash out. It will have a little bit of pool in here when I water, and then all the water will be drank by the plant as they sip through your soil. If you want to, you could also put a little bit of river pebbles or white decorative pebbles. Basically what it does is when you water them, it just protects the leaves from splash back from the soil, therefore protecting it from scarring or from a possible leaf rot. So, and it's just beautiful and it brings out a pop of color. So that's just a tip that we have for you. Of course, do not water them for about 1 to 2 weeks, 2 weeks I'd say, before watering them, because there are no roots yet. We want the roots to form first before we water them. Also, put them in a partially shaded area. We don't want them to be stressed with sun now that they're not yet established. And that's about it. I hope you have learned a few things with regards to removing babies from mother plants. And if you'd like to, please subscribe to our channel so that we can share more videos with you about succulents. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.